Hello, welcome to my channel, and I thought I would just try out a little segment because I've been thinking about it since the last North Walsham Town Council meeting, and it's things that I've been thinking about. So we're just going to have a little listen to two councillors talking about it and what it means for North Walsham, about the assets in town and the toilets, the car parking, what we might lose, what we might gain, how do we afford to pay for all this. So let's have a little listen.
Otherwise, I suggested in the previous meetings, we do need to look at some sort of development plan for ourselves as community leaders in town and where we want to move the town forward, particularly to protect ourselves from what could happen with the government review. There are concerns that should be lumbered in this certain coastal borough, which has a very low council tax, but million days into that coastal social force. Not really not effect on council tax. So they were more interested in developing the yard here in town. I don't want to see that horrific. So we do need to be prepared, I think, for other aspects within the town that we ought to be trying to take over and should be negotiating with district. We're Lucy is on board anyway, because there's bigger things like how we deal with criminal debt. Need protecting. But there are assets of considerable community value we need to be able to at least have some control of them. One of them in the land next door, and the car parks especially, and the public toilets. And the arts unitary short of money, then
I mean, he's just mentioned about the toilets, the £400,000 toilets. If the town council got the key for them, how do we pay for that? How does a town pay for that? The cleaning?
information we don't. Oh, let's ramp up car park charges.
No, let's not do that.
Well, I think so, but not
So if we got the car parks, which I think is what, 3? We have Vicarage Street, we have the ones over and on Hornbeam Road, and we also have the ones just past Munsley Road, just off Munsley Road. The upkeep. Let's see if he talks about the cost of the upkeep before we even think about the cost of.
charges down. But they could very easily go up. Somebody sitting in the outside, is that, do you need 2 toilet blocks in the town? With the one on the bus station. So there is a risk that we could lose assets within the next 5-6 years under a new unitary structure. So we need to look at what we ought to be controlling and start negotiating. Keep half any action.
Do we have a sort of strategic risk register for the town council that we prioritise our risks such as?
Now this chap is a new councillor, and I actually quite liked him because he got straight to the point.
Things as this on the horizon, so part of the committee's responsibilities, the town council, is to look at those foreseeable risks that we could potentially see. If this could happen, I know we've got before more bits of forming around that piece there. What is going to be the direct impact to local sort of town councils? What we can start looking at strategic plans to say, actually, these are our key areas. This is what we need to look at holding on to areas you say where we consider investment, we can place those areas at risk. So they're actually a great risk to us financially and the cost attributed to those. So when we get to that point, we look at all the nice to haves, and then we've got all the things we can actually pick up, and potentially you can budget against that with a look ahead over 5 years. We can forecast against that. Say, actually, where's that going to be in that period of time? With an annual review piece, so we know exactly where we are, any point we could risk all that, allocate a person to manage, monitor it, or take effective action against that silo that we don't want. And so we can sort of go, like you say, getting first and cherry pick, but also we want to take some of the bad as well. You don't get away with that, but at least there's a plan developed around that that says this is what we intend to do in the next 5 years.
I think that's kind of an extension of what Paul was saying, is sort of identifying the things that are on the same lines, so things that the town needs and what we can do to make sure they stay in town. That's a really good point.
Can I ask if any public consultation in the town's actually taken place to know how these assets are actually?
This chap is another new councillor. I've really got to learn their names. But I liked what he had to say.
Appreciated, wanted, or thought to be a waste of money in inverted commas, because that's clearly got to be there to support what we're trying to look forward as a future.
I think that probably will be an output of coming up with what we think and then doing some consultation to see what the public think. But I'm sure maintaining toilets in town, for example, obviously
Car park.
university is popular. And if we acquire the car parks, which I think is probably a bigger ask, but if we did, we would try to keep the charges at a low level, which again would be popular. So I think mostly we'll be pushing open doors, but you're right, we need to check that.
We've got to show that is what we think should happen. If we do, when we are pushing it, we stand a chance of getting it.
So, what assets? Something to think about. And I'll leave you with that. Ciao for now.